It looks so peaceful down here, but I think I've changed my mind and I don't want to sit here. Although I love this tree friend. It was marvelously windy up here the other night, and the redwood trees out front blew tiny garlands down on my car. It was like a little gift and a blessing. You know, not big limbs, just little tiny bits. I love this section of the yard. It's like a little memorial, peaceful section. I wish there was a bench right here. I'd sit there now. But I'm just kind of enjoying the end of the year. Got a little bit of sun. I'm not a sun fan, but I'm loving this. It's magical and wonderful and peaceful. And I'm going to walk up here and sit down. And speaking of which, I am going to make probably my last or one of my last videos for speaking of which. There's a little garland. Let me bless you with a garland. Not garland, but little sprig. Probably one of my last, if not the last. Oh, speaking of which video, beautiful little leaves, signs of the seasons, videos of 2019. 2019 is closing out, and you know, this is not where I live, by the way. I take care of pets, and I have this wonderful, peaceful gift of a place that I get to stay with wonderful kitties a few times a year. So I often take pictures and things here. So with that, I am totally out of breath. I got something going on. You know, I have health issues. But speaking of which, I'm just sitting and taking a self-care moment out here on my client's patio and enjoying it, and it's lovely and it's really comfortable. So hooray. Like I always do, I like to talk about whatever bling or whatever I'm wearing to plug people. This beautiful turquoise rune pendant is from, I don't know how well it's focusing on it. It is from The Dragon's Treasure. They have an Etsy store. This is just a eyeglass clip. It's from Amazon. I'm not going to go into all of my rings. The gorgeous earrings that I have on are from Gypsy Boo Love, who is on Amazon. She has I don't know if she sold them. She has a pair of earrings I've been pining on for over a year. I bought these as a birthday gift for myself last year. And then, let's see if I can get this. And this ridiculously stunning bracelet here is also an Etsy seller, Unicorn Adornments. So, you know, these things are not things like, I'm not like all you Instagram folks who just buy jewelry and sell jewelry all the time. When I do finally get special pieces, it's either because I've saved a long time for them or been gifted them and just feel really blessed to have them. I've been a patron of Bob Spickard and Lisa Spickard at the Dragon's Treasure for many years and love them as people and artists. So that's that. Just wanted to take a few minutes to talk about self-care is what I always talk about. And speaking of which, it's the end of the year and there's like things happening with the moon and things happening with change, and you know, we always got to talk about those things as a witch. And I am once again, partially because this is how I unfortunately roll, being someone with a chronic illness and whatnot, saying, you know, forgive yourself and make sure self-care is really taken care of instead of beating yourself up because you're not doing every stinking ritual and all the plans that you should be doing, which is one of the reasons I have a big issue, one of many reasons I have a big issue with New Year's resolutions. Now, we have passed the last full moon of the year. We have passed the last new moon of the year. We are now waxing. So that's actually a really good time to start thinking about what you want to work toward in a new year. We won't have a new full moon until we're a few days into the new year. So this is a good time to start thinking about, what do I want to bring into my life? What do I want to manifest? What changes do I want to make that are positive and uplifting and and going to be helpful for me. That's, what we're thinking of here. And so thinking about that moon waxing, thinking about like the energy building is really good. So I just wanted to encourage you to think about taking advantage of the waxing moon energy. Think about these things. A lot of people get really big on New Year's resolutions. Sometimes people will we will, as witches, do our versions of them at Samhain, at Yule, at Beltane. I find the Wheel of the Year, if anything, is a good time to look at, what do I let go? What new things do I want to bring into my life with each Sabbath? So if nothing else, if you don't do a big thing, those are also markers besides the moons that it's really good to do that. I apologize if I sound out of breath, if I'm kind of rambly. I'm extremely tired today. I'm worn out. I'm not feeling well, and I'm having respiratory issues. So bear with me, please. But I just quickly wanted to go into that. I personally, like I said, I think that New Year's resolutions per se are a really good way to set yourself up to fail. And if you have self-esteem issues, if you are not a super driven, focused person, if that's not the way that you operate, they just really just are designed to make you feel bad and to fail. So personally, I have never been a New Year's resolution thing. I remember years past when other people were doing New Year's resolution stuff, I would participate and I would just think, this is really stupid. What I try to do is set, especially as someone who has a lot of health problems, who has PTSD, I try to set reasonable goals, and if I exceed them, I get real excited. And if I don't make them, I look at like, what can I do? Is this something I still want to do? And what can I do to actually make this happen later if I didn't meet this deadline? I just kind of keep plugging away at it. And I think that that is a really sound, sensible way to work with nature, which is what we as witches do in general. And there's certainly a lot of like non-nature witches. But if you're thinking about going with the rhythms and the flow of life, the tree doesn't say, I'm going to grow 3 feet this year and like balls out, do it. It just takes in whatever nutrients it has around it in the atmosphere, water, air, nutrients in the earth, and it grows as much as it's able to grow. And I think that that's a real reasonable way to look at growing in witchcraft and spirituality as a human being, is to do the best that you can do, set reasonable goals, write down hopes. If you've got some crazy hopes, hey, throw them in there. That's fantastic. But don't beat yourself up over having like, okay, the first is coming, I gotta have these resolutions and I gotta stick to them, because most people start like gangbusters if they start at all, and they maybe make it a month or two before they completely fail. Their resolutions, they're not like taking an oath. And some people treat them like an oath, which is really, really harsh, because then they really feel bad if they don't make them. So yeah, those are just my thoughts. I'm just kind of sitting here taking a break. I am wrapping up the end of my year of work, and I think actually I have a house sitting job for a doggy I love and a bird that will finish out the year. And then, technically I don't have any other jobs until next year. I have not been, and this is something I've decided not to beat myself up over, because clearly it was just what was supposed to be. I have not been reading my cards. I haven't been, I actually took a bunch of decks with me where I'm house sitting, and I haven't pulled them out. I probably will in the next couple of days. But I haven't been reading. I haven't been doing spell work. I haven't been doing any like super focused moon work. I've just been making my magic daily life self-care and putting good energy out there. That is the best that I can do right now, and that's okay. I haven't had a phone. I haven't had money. And in the past few days since I've had my phone on, I have not even gone back and checked all of the messages that I know have piled up, because I just don't have the energy or the time to do it. So if you're one of those people who's waiting for a response, I am not blowing you off. I just haven't even looked. Or, I know if I look, I'll panic. So I'm just not going to do it. I'm going to finish my stuff and then I'll start plugging away at that one thing at a time. And that's the kind of thing I encourage you to do. You can't do it all at once. And especially if you have extra challenges, you really shouldn't try. Just keep plugging away at it. Be like the tree. Let your little branches unfurl, reach for the dew, send your little roots down into the earth, and reach for the rock to hold on to, reach for the nutrients in the soil, spread your branches out to the sun, get the sun on the days that it's there, and conserve energy on the days that it's not. This is a really good way to live. So it's kind of a rambling video, I guess, for the end of the year. But I just wanted to send you all my love, and I might do another more organized video before the end of the year. I don't know. But I just, like I said, took this moment to sit and enjoy the nature around me and kind of think, spew out some thoughts. So, ooh, there goes a hawk. I wish I could have gotten that on camera for you. Well, drat, there was a beautiful hawk flying and circling overhead, and I could not get him in the viewfinder on the phone. He was a speck, so darn it. But that's just a wonderful gift to get to see, and I'm glad I'm not his prey. And I'm glad the kitties I'm taking care of are indoors and won't be his prey. So I just wanted to leave you with those thoughts. Self-care, remember to go with the rhythm of things and don't try to force yourself to be what other people are doing or think you should be. Listen in and do the best you can. I think that trying to hammer in this idea of being the perfect witch is a real mistake. Some people may appear to be doing all the things. It doesn't mean that they are. And I know I have observed too and suspect when I don't know that some of the people who are doing all these perfect things on Instagram, they're setting up these perfect shots, they're doing these YouTube videos, and they're just productions, they're slick productions. And in some cases, that's great. They can be inspirational, they can be helpful, but just know that those witches aren't all perfect either. And they're often doing these things for the benefit of social media, and they might not otherwise be doing them at all. They may not be doing other mundane things. And I think the mundane daily things are much more magical than the big rituals sometimes. So just give yourself a break. That's really all I have to say. And if I don't do this again before the new year, I wish you a prosperous end of the year, spiritually, not just financially. May you feel fulfilled and loved and blessed, and just do what you can. Self-care is super important. Okay, this has been the most speaking of which ramble ever, which you can tell. I've had coffee today. I know it's hard to tell, but just sending you my love on this day, and take care. Best witches.